Alright, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite cars, and that's going to be the 2008 Lexus ISF. For those of you not familiar with the ISF, it came out in 2008. That was the first year they made them, and they made production all the way through 2014. The ISF was the first F car Lexus ever made. So before this, they didn't have any F cars like they have now with the RCF, the GFSF, and the LFA, obviously. The ISF received a 5-liter V8, made it to an 8-speed transmission. It's the same transmission as the LS460 got, but it's tuned a bit differently, and it's an 8-speed and also comes with paddles. So the body of this car greatly differs from the IS250 and the 350. You know, the bumpers, the side skirts, the fenders, the quarter panels are, you know, a little bit more flared, I believe. The exhausts, you know, there's a lot of differences. Your average person might not pick up on them, but, you know, a car enthusiast or anybody that appreciates cars, they could definitely tell this car is different. So I don't want to bore you guys talking about every little minor detail the car has or how it's different with the IS250. So you guys can check that out on your own. Google it, you know. Let's just go for a drive instead, and let's get some driving impressions. Whew. So right off the bat, as I get in this car, the first thing you notice right away is the seats. Now, if you guys ever been in any regular Lexus, the seats are very soft. There's a lot of cushion. They're very plain. These seats, they have really aggressive bolsters on each side. They're very stiff. The leather doesn't have a lot of give, and they hug you. You know, I'm a skinny person. There's a little bit of room left here, obviously, but they're pretty supportive. That way, if you take a corner, these bolsters do hold you in. Same thing with the lower bolsters. The other thing I noticed right away is there's F badging all over the car. So right away you get in, and you know that you're in an F. The one thing I don't like with normal cars, sometimes they have the limited models. They might have no badging or anything outside, or maybe they'll give you one badge. You get in the car, the interior is all the same as the regular model. You know, you might get one or two logos somewhere. This car, it tells you, hey, you're in an F. It comes with these paddle shifters that the regular models don't have. The cluster's different. So there's a lot of differences in the car. Pull out on the main street, and right away I hear the little gurgle from the exhaust, but you also hear the intake noise. Driving down my street here, it's a pretty bumpy street, especially when it gets in the middle, and I could already tell the suspension is going to be very stiff on this car, which is also very different from your general Lexus. You know, Lexus are known for a soft, comfortable ride, generally aimed towards older people. You know, this car is none of that. The suspension is pretty stiff. I personally love it because when I get into a performance car, I want to feel the road. I want to feel the suspension. I don't want to be in a cushion. You know, the faster you drive this car, the more connected to it you feel. Intake noise, that's amazing. So this car actually has an intake that opens after 3600 RPMs to feed you more of that sound, and I can tell you that sound is very addicting. I've been driving this car for the last couple of weeks, and my gas mileage has been awful, and it's not because the car has bad gas mileage. You could drive this car easy to get like 20 to 25, but you know, every time I drive it, I just feel so connected with the car, you want to keep driving it. You know, the great thing about this car, being a Lexus, it is extremely reliable. There are a few ISFs over 200,000 miles, and I believe there's one that's over 350,000 miles. Now, there's a lot of cars that can reach that mileage, you know, with a ton of work, ton of service and all that, but how overbuilt these cars are, They need very little. The maintenance on them is just basic, you know, oil changes, fluid changes, brakes, stuff like that. The ISF can be lived with every day. One of my favorite cars, being the Evo 8 and 9, they're fantastic cars when you drive them hard. When you really push them, when you're in it, when you really want to drive, they're unbelievable cars. But living with an Evo every day is really harsh. It's got very stiff suspension, way stiffer than this. It has an awful power band, gets terrible gas mileage, there's a lot of turbo lag. So if you actually drive it like a normal person, just commuting, it's a horrendous car. The build quality is terrible, you know, everything feels cheap. Whereas this, it does all those great. And it gives you good to great performance. Now, it's not the best performance you could want. It's not the most raw feeling car out there. You know, there's minor things it could obviously improve on. Nobody's saying this is the ultimate car. When you want to drive and you put sport mode on, put it into manual mode, or Tiptronic, whatever you want to call it, and this car is a lot of fun. Hugs the corners, it handles very nicely. The stiff suspension gives you confidence to take a corner without being worried, without getting a floaty feeling. That's so good. You know, I wish they made more cars like this. And there's obviously a couple on the market, but I don't think there's any that share the reliability with this ISF. There's cars like the Alfa Romeo, you know, the AMG variants, the M3 variants, the M5s, or you know, whatever category you want to put this car into. But all of them, they're nowhere near as reliable. And if they are reliable, they're nowhere near as much fun to drive. So to me, this car is the ultimate package. You have good amount of power. You know, nowadays everybody's trying to get all this crazy power out of these cars, but for street use, you know, I don't need more power. 400 something horsepower is plenty. I don't need 800. I don't need 900. You know, I rather enjoy my drive. That's why, to me, the light, nimble cars are always more fun on the street. Now, this car is not light by any means at 3,800 pounds, but for a modern car, a modern sports sedan, it's not bad. Most of the cars nowadays are over 4,000, 4,200, 4,300. You look at the Challengers, you know, the American cars, you know, the AMGs, they're all way over 4,000. So it's a relatively light car. You know, it's not a Miata or not an Evo or a Lotus or anything like that. But it's still fun to drive without being too impractical. So when you put the car in a sport mode, the steering, it gets a little sharper, it tightens up. The throttle response is a bit more jumpy. You know, you tap the pedals, the car wants to go. And then the shifts on the trans, they're a little quicker. Well, I'm pulling up to a little roundabout, so let's see what the ISF can do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll try to do another video soon. So thank you guys again. Please like, comment, and subscribe.